Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the foundational strategy you absolutely need to turn a creative passion into a rigorously engineered, highly lucrative brand. You know, if you're building a business in the beauty space, especially a premium salon, you already know the hard truth. Having world-class talent behind the chair does not automatically equal a world-class bank account. You need a rock-solid foundation and an engine explicitly built for growth. So let's get into exactly how to build that.
Let's kick things off with a pretty tough question. Why do most premium salons fail? Well, most people think starting a premium beauty brand is all about the product, right? They drop thousands of dollars searching for the perfect vendor before they even know who their actual customer is. But here's the thing. Without a structural model, you are simply leaking revenue at scale. You might have an incredible service, but a broken website, confusing pricing, or literally zero systems to capture leads. Why? Because founders get trapped. They're too busy working in the business doing hair rather than working on the business. All that sweat equity just slips right through the cracks.
Which brings us to this brilliantly simple truth. Your brand needs to look like money before you make any money. You really have to pick your lane. Are you an everyday brand or are you a high-end luxury brand? Because if you're going for luxury, your social media presence, your booking software, the lighting in your waiting area, heck, even the beverage you hand a client when they walk in, all of that has to justify a premium price tag before the service even starts. That single decision dictates your pricing, your content, the whole shebang. You have to look the part before anyone is going to pay you that premium.
Okay, let's quickly look at our roadmap for today. We'll hit strategy before the salon, the 9-block business canvas, the 6 pillars scalable model, comparing the 2 frameworks, a case study on premium hair extensions, and finally, actionable insights for your salon. Let's dive in.
All right, starting out with Section 1, strategy before the salon, and how to stop leaking revenue.
So strategy is what actually bridges the gap between your creative passion and rigorous business execution. Far too many aspiring entrepreneurs just launch without defining their lane, everyday versus luxury, which inevitably leads to wasted budgets and a really weak market presence. You can't just throw open your doors and cross your fingers. Think about it. An everyday brand focuses on volume and speed, getting people in and out fast. But a luxury brand? That's about lower client volume, but high-ticket, deeply bespoke sensory experiences. Your strategy is the mechanism that dictates exactly which game you're playing, turning your passion into a machine that actually generates consistent profit.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 9-block business canvas, which is essentially your blueprint. Now, what's super interesting about the 9-block canvas is that it forces you to map out your entire value creation process on one single page. It visually traces the whole journey, starting from who your customer is and the relationships you build on the right side, moving through your core offering right in the center, and tying directly into the key activities, resources, and operational costs needed to deliver it on the left. It forces you to look at your business not as a bunch of random tasks, but as a complete, living ecosystem. And it is absolutely crucial to understand that these aren't just isolated boxes on a whiteboard. They are totally interconnected. For example, if you change your target customer segment to high-net-worth individuals, well, that dictates entirely new marketing channels. And guess what? Those new channels drive up your cost structure. Targeting a premium segment means higher customer acquisition costs, which means you have to charge premium prices just to maintain your margins. It's a real domino effect. If just one single link in this chain breaks, your entire business model becomes incredibly vulnerable.
Okay, let's jump into Section 3, the 6-pillar scalable model, otherwise known as your growth engine. So, this framework shifts our focus over to active execution. It demands that you build a profitable, scalable model targeted at a very specific customer first. Then, you layer on proactive marketing and consistent sales, so you aren't just sitting around waiting for word of mouth, right? From there, you build a team. And not just any team, but specifically a second line of leaders, like a master stylist who trains juniors. That frees you up. And all of this has to be supported by crystal clear operational systems and a true competitive advantage, that unique magic that makes you completely irreplaceable in your local market.
Here's the big takeaway on scalability. Without clear systems in every single function, there is no scale. Period. If you're doing all the marketing, delivering all the services, and handling all the customer complaints, I hate to break it to you, but you haven't built a business. You've just created a really, really stressful job for yourself. True scalability breaks you free from that trap. It allows the structure to operate and grow independently without you being there 24/7. And honestly, isn't that the whole point of starting a business in the first place?
Next up is Section 4, comparing the 2 frameworks in a bit of a showdown.
Let's put these two together. The 9-block canvas gives you the structural map to analyze the business holistically. It helps you figure out exactly what you're building. The 6-pillar model, on the other hand, provides the aggressive operational steps required to scale it. It tells you how to grow. Think of it like this. The 9-block is your architect's blueprint. It makes sure the building isn't going to collapse. The 6-pillar model, that's your construction crew and heavy machinery. It's the aggressive, day-to-day execution you need to actually get that building off the ground. You design the architecture with the canvas, and you engineer the growth with the pillars.
Let's bring this out of the clouds in Section 5. Case study on premium hair extensions, taking theory into practice. So how do you capture different economic segments without diluting your luxury appeal? You build a 3-tier service ladder. You guide clients from a low-cost, easy-to-buy introduction, like a signature blowout, up to your core clip-in products, and eventually to your high-tech, premium permanent bonding. By offering that accessible entry point, you hook your target customer. Then you use your internal systems and highly trained team, which, remember, are key pillars in our 6-pillar model, to systematically upsell them to high-margin permanent bonding over time, building massive trust along the way.
Now, I want you to really look at this number, 45% to 70%. When you successfully graduate a client to that Tier 3 permanent bonding, the economics are just staggering. We are talking gross profit margins of 45 to 70%. And the reason is simple. High-quality extensions are a recurring need. They need maintenance, they need move-ups, and eventual replacement. This creates predictable, highly profitable, and intensely loyal revenue streams. Whether you're selling direct-to-consumer online or doing in-salon premium bonding, this specific niche absolutely explodes when your structural blueprint and your operational engine are running in perfect sync.
Finally, let's hit Section 6, Actionable Insights for your salon, focusing on real scaling tactics. All right, here is where the rubber actually meets the road. Try setting up frictionless digital wallet push notifications on Apple or Google to remove all the hassle from rebooking, making loyalty effortless. You could also produce an expert series of educational videos. This builds massive trust and a competitive advantage before a client even walks in your door, totally destroying price resistance. Add a structured WhatsApp funnel to systematize lead capture, so your front desk isn't accidentally losing thousands in potential revenue. And definitely train your staff on consultative selling psychology so they can close those high-ticket Tier 3 services entirely on their own without you having to hover over them. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question to think about. Is your brand leaking revenue because it lacks a holistic 9-block blueprint to clearly define its value? Or is it stuck because it's missing the operational 6-pillar engine required to actually scale beyond your own 2 hands? Take a really hard look at your business today. Figure out which piece is missing and start engineering your growth. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.